Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Last time on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, we had DIO's World Part 1. Well, it's DIO time. Yes, we began the fight with DIO. Polnareff started us off, but then the other three came in, and it's 4v1 right now. We have some guesses as to the secret power of the world. But yeah, we are not certain as of right now. We had a bit of a goofy car chase with this weird senator that was driving for DIO, and then they caught up to Joseph and Kakyoin. Kakyoin tried attacking, but to no avail. However, we did learn that the world is a close-range power-type stand like Star Platinum, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, and then at the end, Kakyoin basically said he knows how to figure out the secret of the world. We also have Jotaro and Polnareff that are on their way on a motorcycle, so yeah. Basically, it's going down, so yeah. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say that the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and get into DIO's World Part 2. Here we go. I don't know. Oh, damn me and my skepticality. That's not even a word. I don't know if I can accept Joseph being dead. Although, he got a knife right here, and his hermit purple disintegrated. So, it's pretty dead. That's pretty dead. Unless... Well, you know what? If anyone could pull something out of his ass to save him, it's Joseph Joestar. I mean, for God's sake, he pumped himself full of hormone. It's possible. Okay. So, that's DIO's World Part 2. And next time... it's Jotaro versus DIO. Oh, boy. At the very least, we lost Kakyoin. But that may be it for Joseph. A more tragic ending than even Jonathan's, you know? Because Jonathan's death, while tragic... he was able to save Irina and Elizabeth. He was able to save them. And granted, Joseph, if this is the end of Joseph, he was able to tell Jotaro about the world's ability to stop time. I mean, well, okay, I don't know if I can accept Polnareff living, but Joseph not living, you know? At the very least, Kakyoin's dead. So, notes. We got a little bit of backstory on Kakyoin, which was interesting. How he was alone most of his life. That's very interesting, and you know, you don't even think about, like, you know, the Joestars have only recently gotten a stand, you know? Only very recently have the Joestars gotten stands. But everyone else has a stand since birth, you know? It's the same with Avdol, Polnareff, and Kakyoin. So Kakyoin was sort of an outcast. He didn't have any friends. And on top of that, he could see Hierophant Green where no one else could, you know? Which makes it interesting, you know, that I like how, you know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of the Force, where in Star Wars, yes, there is a lot of instances where the Force is hereditary, you know, as you can obviously see between Anakin, Luke, Leia, you know. The Force is hereditary there, but there are also some times where, you know, the Force just sort of manifests, basically. It just sort of happens in a person. So that seems to be sort of the same thing here with a stand. Stands are not necessarily hereditary. It is possible for someone to just develop a stand, you know? Which I would imagine, you know... I would imagine, because we also had, you know, when we heard a little bit about Polnareff and his sister, it seemed like, you know, he said, like, oh, I had been, you know, for like 10 years, I'd been, you know, developing Silver Chariot, you know? Or something like that, but he even still said he had it from birth. But still, it seemed like he had a stand, whereas his sister didn't. And that seems to be the case with Kakyoin, that he had Hierophant Green, but his parents didn't. So I like that. Whereas now, you know, the issue with the Joestars is they, because of the rebirth of Dio and Jonathan, every Joestar now has a stand, whether it's good for them or not, you know? So that's pretty interesting. You know, you would imagine if they were born with it, like if Holly was born with a stand, then it would have developed with her, you know? And she wouldn't be dying right now because of it. That's the thing. It's the sudden rush, and, you know, it works for Joseph and Jotaro. It works for the two of them because they are fighters, you know? Joseph through Hamon, and Jotaro just being through a brawler, you know? A hooligan. So that's pretty interesting. But I like that idea, you know, because we have the whole sort of hereditary stand thing through the Joestars. Although I guess we haven't... Well, and then we don't really hear much else about hereditary stands. However, we do also have the Darby brothers. The two of them have stands, you know? The two of them had stands, so perhaps that ran in the family, you know? But others, like Kakyoin, the stand just sort of manifests, you know? So I do like that sort of distinction, you know? And it's the one time where I will say I like the idea that that a stand cannot be seen, you know? Because it does make for an interesting thing with Kakyoin as a kid. No one can see Hierophant Green, so he just, you know, perhaps he thinks he's insane for a while until he just realizes, like, no, this is just a part of me, but only I can see it, you know? So that is really interesting. Now, there's also the case that if anyone was looking up while all this was going down, you know, like, they're just seeing some old man. He puts out his hand and he just flies. They don't see Hermit Purple. Perhaps now, Dio's just flying. That's just it. Dio is just flying. Because, Dio is just flying. Presumably, that's just his vampiric power and nothing else, you know? So, yeah. But then, you know, when you get down to, like, okay, you know, you have Jotaro and Dio in their fight, but there are people, like, not too far from them. There's people not too far from them. They're just going to be seeing, like, shockwaves from Star Platinum versus the world, you know? It's a thing I go back and forth on. Do I like that common people, you know, do I like the rule that you can only see a stand if you have another stand? I don't know. I actually had an idea, like, I think it would be interesting if it was still exclusive, but not as exclusive as it was. Like, I actually thought, like if there was a Hamon user, you know? Or, like let's say Caesar, if Caesar was still alive. Let's say Caesar was still alive and Joseph got Hermit Purple. I would want it to where Caesar can see Hermit Purple despite the fact that he doesn't have a stand, you know? Like, because he is a Hamon user, because he's tapped into this greater power like Hamon, he is able to see a stand, you know? Like, that's kind of how I would do it, but whatever. It's not horrible, honestly. But anyway, Kakyoin, good backstory on that. And I like how he basically uses that and he makes Hierophant Green invisible. Again, I would say Hermit Purple and Hierophant Green are probably my favorite stands, you know? And I like how, because I've put, like, a lot of thought into how cool Hermit Purple is, you know? And especially, too, when he uses it to, like, fly the plane or to inspect the video game consoles and stuff, like, I feel like there's so many interesting uses of Hermit Purple, you know? And it makes you wonder if Joseph was still young, how formidable he would be. Because technically, yes, Hermit Purple is the weakest stand in terms of power. But still, I feel like it could be so interesting. But I also think that you could use Hamon in 12 million other ways than just punching vampires. So, like, the combination of Hamon and Hermit Purple is so amazing. But, at the same time, Hierophant Green is also incredible, you know? Just the fact that, he is swinging around like Joseph is with Hermit Purple, you know? And then just using all of his abilities, creating this web, going invisible, doing all that, the range he has with Hierophant Green is so amazing. So, honestly, this was a really amazing episode also for me because it had two of my favorite stands in it, you know? Like, honestly, Hierophant Green and Hermit Purple are my favorite stands in all of Stardust Crusaders. So that was really, really cool. And correct me if I'm wrong, I thought I heard something where I think it was Araki basically said if Joseph was still young, he would be able to defeat Dio by himself, you know? So essentially, if Joseph had kept up with his Hamon training and, kept his youthfulness like Lisa did in part 2, then, which I would still be curious to see because it would still be Hamon and Hermit Purple against the world, you know? But I would love to see sort of a what if Joseph kept up with his Hamon? How could Joseph beat Dio by himself? Because that's the thing. Yes, Dio is sort of being like, I'll beat you now. But this is Joseph Joestar, you know? And that's the thing. If Dio didn't have the world, Joseph probably could beat him even in his old age, you know? I keep getting off topic. I've been wanting... I keep trying to talk about Kakyoin, then I bring up other stuff. Kakyoin! We'll get to Joseph in a minute. Kakyoin. So that was great. I love creating the web, and anytime Dio steps on it, basically, it will just immediately blast an emerald splash. Very clever. Really like that. But still not enough. Still not enough in order to defeat Dio. It was a good idea, but it did allow him to figure out the secret of the world, you know? It did allow him to figure out the secret of the world, which is the world has the ability to stop time, which is really crazy, you know? That is really... I mean, that is how it is the most powerful stand, you know? How it can beat everyone else. Because I like, again, it is sort of basic, like Star Platinum, you know? It's a brawler. It's a close-range brawler. But it has the advantage of stopping time, you know? Like, that is just so crazy. So yes, Kakyoin figured it out in his dying moments. And yeah, he is dead. So, I mean, and that's going to be crazy, you go back to his parents and be like, I'm sorry. He came along with us on our journey. He fought valiantly, but he unfortunately died, So that's the thing, That's the thing. He's gone, It's not like Iggy and Avdol where it's like, well, maybe they didn't have too many people, but Kakyoin's parents are still alive they're still around in Japan. So they're going to have to go tell the bad news presumably once we defeat Dio. I'm going to go ahead and say we defeat Dio. The bad guy will lose. I don't think that's a pretty rough guess, I don't think that's me, with a wild guess, but yeah, that is very rough. That is very rough. Noriaki Kakyoin is gone. But he did figure out the secret of the world and was able to relay the message to Joseph. Okay. And then we got Joseph versus Dio, which was pretty great. And I do love, Joseph saying, no, I'll kill you in the name of Granny Arena. It's like, yes! Oh. And of course, Dio is like, Granny Arena? You mean that backwater girl? Oh. So, oh, God. But yeah, I mean, I just love that so much. And again, it makes you wonder, could Joseph have beaten Dio? Unfortunately, I do think it is part of it that it is his old age that he can't keep up, that he is not able to defeat the world. But the whole thing with the time stopping and everything, it does make me curious if Joseph was still young, if he kept up with his Hamon training, could he have defeated Dio, But, first off, this is the most Hamon we've used in the entirety of Stardust Crusaders. Now it's been brought up once or twice, especially early on with the flesh buds and stuff, Joseph was able to get rid of it. He even got rid of the flesh bud in his own head using Hamon. And the other time was when he was infected with the Empress. He tried using Hamon on that, but it didn't work. But I love Joseph, he's smart. He doesn't just have Hermit Purple, because Joseph Joestar, I'm pretty sure, is going to be the only person to have two magic systems at the same time. So not only does he have Hermit Purple, but he also has Hamon. And so I like that, being able to protect himself from Dio by covering himself in Hamon with Hermit Purple, Now, it does make me question, because he almost hit with the world, but then he stopped. So I would imagine then that because the Hamon can go through Hermit Purple, that the Hamon, if it touched the world, would also then start to break Dio, So, yeah. We do also have, so Dio did not, actually, he has not had the final soul, basically. He said he needs the blood of a Joestar in order to fully take over Jonathan's body, which is interesting. So yeah, but he doesn't have that. Maybe that could lead to the defeat, who knows, if he completely takes over Jonathan's body, he may even get stronger, So yeah, good fight, even though, yes, it's not, the big Joseph Joestar fight we've, every fan of Part 2 wants, but it was still a really good fight, for Joseph versus Dio, So I like that. We also have, I like Joseph figured out that, yes, you can stop time, but it has to only be for 3 or 4 seconds. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been chasing us this whole time, which is interesting. So, I like that. That was very interesting. So, and originally, when he started using the world, he could only freeze time for the blink of an eye. But as he drank more and more, and the body became more his, then the power increased. Now he's up to 5 seconds. He's up to 5 seconds going against Jotaro. But as time goes on, he will be able to go until, he could probably just freeze time indefinitely, So yeah, so his power is still increasing. It's a very damn good idea for the final stand, especially after the Void, which was such a terrifying, crazy stand. I was like, oh, how do you beat this guy? They didn't even beat the Void. They had to use sunlight against cool ice. So to add in such a devastating power like freezing time is very good, So yeah. So that's good. It seems that Joseph is dead. That it's not exactly the hero sacrifice that, well, A, Jonathan had, and B, Joseph kind of had against Cars, Because he did sort of have that, and then there's Joseph is still alive and stuff. But I don't know. I'm hoping Joseph will somehow through his, through his conniving Joseph Joestar ways, he will be able to live. But it was pretty rough. But yes, the last thing I wrote down is Star Platinum versus the World. Jotaro versus Dio. However, Polnareff is still out there too. Polnareff we don't know where he is right now, so it's entirely possible he could come in and help. But yeah. But I do like, Jotaro not leaving like Joseph said and just going, walking straight to Dio, I'm not going to beat your ass to a bloody pulp unless I get closer. So that was really good. And yeah, the fact that it's like, okay, Kakyoin's dead. It looks like Dio has killed Jotaro's grandfather. It's like, yeah, he's pissed now. So this is it. This is it. Jotaro versus Dio. The final battle we've been waiting for. Oh, God. We've got 2 more episodes left of Stardust Crusaders. Let's see how it's all going to go down. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reactions, there is a playlist on screen, as well as another video you can go check out if you want to go watch more of my stuff, I guess. There's a subscribe button, there's a Patreon button, there's also a bunch of links in the description if you want to check out any of those. See you guys later.